Say that I have a bowl of marbles, and I like to play with these marbles, and I can't play with them when they're in the bowl. So, every now and then I dump out my marbles on the floor and start playing with marbles. Dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo, boing 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 boing, marble pinball. Well, as I'm playing with my marbles, dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo. You know, anybody who's played with marbles knows that marbles have a tendency to roll away, and yep, oh no, where's that marble going? Well, when I'm at the end of the day, after I'm done playing with my marbles, I want to put them all back, and I certainly hope that I haven't lost any. That if they rolled away, I hope that I found them, but you know, I'm never really sure. So after going through dooby dooby doo, putting all the marbles back in the bowl, maybe I can scoop them up. There should be some way to scoop up a bunch of marbles and not have to pick them up one at a time. Scoop and dump them in the bowl. At the end of the day, I've got a bowl full of marbles, and the question is, have I lost my marbles? Have I lost some of my marbles? Are there some that rolled away, dooby dooby doo? Or maybe even there's some that I found in the process, and maybe I gained a couple marbles. Who knows? So the question is, given a bowl full of marbles at the beginning of the day and a bowl full of marbles at the end of the day, how can I know if I have the same marbles that I started off with, or maybe if I lost some or gained some? How do I know if my marble bowl is effectively the same as what it was at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day? Now, those of us who know how to count will immediately say, well, count them. Count your marbles. And fair enough, that's what most of us are going to do. But remember, we're seeking to relearn math from scratch. So I've got to impose a restriction here and say that we don't know these numerals that most of us are used to, and we don't know the words, whether in English or any other language that you might know, of 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. You can't use these symbols for the numerals that you know, or these numbers that you know, because we're trying to really discover how would we do these things from scratch if somebody hadn't taught us how to count. So what you've got to do is either find a way to solve the marble bowl question without using numbers, or if you really insist on using numbers, you're going to have to invent some of your own. What do the symbols for them look like? What do they sound like when you say them? You're going to have to do something to invent your own, because you can't use what we already know about counting. We're trying to figure out, if I'd never learned to count, how am I going to determine whether or not I've lost my marbles? So I'd like for you to work on this question before watching the upcoming videos, where I'll give more hints and my own thoughts on how I think about this problem. But first, I would really like it if you don't just immediately listen to my thoughts, but try as many different ways as possible. How could you solve this marble question of determining if you've lost any of your marbles at the end of the day, or if your little brother or sister or a friend who came and played with the marbles when you weren't looking, how you can determine if any have been mysteriously disappeared. How can you determine that if you weren't able to use the numbers that you already know?